So here's when you can see the genius come in. So removing the doors and removing all the weather strip means I can paint all the door jambs. When you take the fenders off and this hatch comes off, first on the hatch, the only thing you paint is this and this. That one comes off there. What's left to paint, once this is off there, is around this door jamb, up across here to the C-pillar and the roof. And that could be done all at once. Definitely can shoot all the door jambs inside of here all at once. And then I have a natural break the way the roof is built, so that I could paint the roof and then come back and tape up, I'd paint up to this edge and come back and tape up to that edge, scuff it, and then shoot that in red and clear coat, so that comes out the brilliant luster that I would like it to be. So to cut it into pieces to make it easy, do the roof, very simple. Do the door jambs, very simple. Do inside of here, the hatch. The hatch will be off. There are parts of the hatch that need painted red are just these outside areas. And the rest of this can stay black because you can't see it when all the panels are on it. So as far as anybody ever opens it up, all they'll know is that this thing has always been red. They won't be able to tell that it hasn't. Just got to shoot the other side of the hood too. But so really, it'd be like, you don't need, this doesn't need any, this, by the way, is what color the car used to be. That's how the paint used to look. And this is how it looks now. So as you can see, it has lost some of its luster. But all this needs is just scuffed. Leave these things alone, because if you go messing with them, you'll break them and they're held in with pop rivets. Nah, leave them be. They're all in good shape. So you come in here and scuff that up and shoot it red. I have another body break here too. I could just go ahead and shoot the whole rocker panel at the same time and then paint up and around the C-pillar. So the door will be, the top will be done. Paint the jambs, and then just shoot the lower panel up around the C panel and down, and that's it. It's painted. So all that can be caught up into sections, and the only part that's really going to matter is the roof and this part. And the bottom part really doesn't matter because it's got rocker shuts on it anyway. So, but there is a break right here where there's a body seam, where the filler's going to be, that I could even paint that all in one shot. Then shoot the rocker shuts on it and then paint over it. So it's there. And then this is actually less work than sanding up too, and spending half your life taping off all of this trim. I have to do it here, but that will just wear your ass out all the way around, and you'll never get in. If you don't pull this in seal, you're never going to get painted in there. Right now I just pop these other plastic panels off and tape up on the back of all this. So I just shoot it in there with plastic in there, just shoot the whole thing. You just cover this with masking tape, and then you take a little razor blade and cut it out, paint over it, and peel the tape off. And that was the same, because you don't want to take those, people steal cars, that's when things like that get changed. But don't ask me how I know that. But the whole front is ready to be painted and put back on. So what becomes the wise move from here is the bumpers are the last things that go in the car. So the wise move from here is bust the doors out, bust these fenders and the hatch all in filler primer. See, there's a dent right there. There's little dents all over this thing that you just don't see till you go till you're standing in person and see it. So it all gets very, very easy from here. Sure, it'll take a while to take the door off, like one late start day to get all this off, both doors and the wiring and everything, and it'll go together much faster than it came apart. You gotta be careful when you're taking things apart, because it kind of want to jam up on you. But where the real genius is these freaking door panels, and you haven't been able to see it on video yet, and I don't know if I can capture it in this light or not. There are warps in this door panel. There's one. And there are others. And they'll start showing up when it's sanded. There's one real good. I don't know if I can catch that angle. I don't think I can catch it on the angle with this camera, but they're big and it's bad. That's a bad area right there. That whole area is food. So this other door is even worse. Look at that. I think you can see that for sure. That is a major thump. And then what you run into the danger of trying to do this on the car is if you leave the door panel and everything in there, you can't get it in here back behind us in case this is high. You're just screwed. Then you just have to try and make it look like something when you're done. But look at it there. You can catch that in the light. That whole area is just wasted. And while it's kind of blended in with all the other damage on the car, the fact that it ain't shiny, really, there you can see it. That is foolhardy. Now, the fact that you can't see it is because it's not all that shiny. If you washed it and shined it up, it'd become more obvious. If you put a fresh clear coat over that, you're gonna you'll see it from 20 feet away. So, all in all, it only makes sense to take I still got to fill in all these. I got to strip this one down, strip this one back down, and fill them with fiberglass. But imagine how much easier that's going to be when I can just lay the fiberglass on there and try and push it in while it's standing up. Imagine how much easier the doors will be to paint when they're just laying there. Like, you don't have to worry about anything this big that's going to be vertical. See right there, just more dents and more. There's just a lot of damage on these doors that are going to pop up. And you want them to pop up now. And even this, like, you can't see them until you really look for them. But they were just, and I try to explain this to people, they couldn't catch your eye before because the rest of the car was in such bad shape. There were softball-sized dents here and just destruction. Panel destruction everywhere. So, nobody's going to notice that. You fix all that, then all that becomes very noticeable. You can catch right there how bad that panel is. And it's a lot easier to fix laying down, and you can do something else when it's laying down, because you can be a little more casual with your base coat and especially your clear coat. These are big flat panels, and if it's going to orange peel on you somewhere, this is where it'll be. I mean, if you look, that's the factory paint, and it has orange peel in it, as do most factory paints. I mean, more now than ever. They actually have more orange peel than they've ever had. And that's just become an accepted finish because it's so shiny. But if you don't want that, one of the easiest ways to get that is to lay it down flat so that when you spray it on there, you can put it on there pretty heavy, and it'll, let liquid seek their own level. It'll just smooth itself out. You can't do that while it's vertical. You get close, but you're always on the edge of where you're gonna create yourself some runs and some other difficulties. So almost everybody will just leave an orange peel finish like that. So it's looking good. What I want to do is get those doors busted out and filler primed and everything. And the inside, around the inside where I took all the trim and all this stuff in, it just needs scuffed with wherever it's got chips and stuff, that's got to be sanded, but the rest just needs scuffed with a little scruffy pad and shot. It ain't never going anywhere. It's bringing any sun on it. Nothing's ever going to happen to it. But then when you put all the trim back in, there is no way to tell it's painted. And then this car has other problems that aren't as obvious. Like here, you see where that's all coming loose in there? That seal is shot to hell. So I can dig the really loose stuff or cut the really loose stuff out of there and use window weld sealant like they used to glue windows in. But first I take this out and I tape off at the glass, which allows me to shoot all the way up and over this edge. Edge is very important if you want to paint your glass. You can sand in there too. Sanding is very important. That's another problem with trim. You try and get up under here so it looks decent. You got to sand up here and then put a piece of tape on there. And if you don't get this sanded well, the paint, you'll always be able, there'll always be a liner that you'll see either on the trim or on the body. So I have a trick to get around that. I take twine and pop it up in the groove so it comes out a little bit, and then I sand up in there, tape it so that it's under the edge, shoot it, and then when I pull it all back out, it collapses down on there and you can't see that it was ever painted. But this is the goal of the two goals of a top-notch paint job. And believe it or not, the actual finish isn't as important as the details. As making sure, like, you gotta get all this primed well. Gotta be sanded, and you gotta get a lot of primer on there because there's not much room for molecules. So if you don't round that out with some primer, it'll chip and scratch very easy. It may even be so thin it'll let water in it. So what looks to you like more work is actually less work. And it'll just come out better. And I hate taking off a coat of paint. I absolutely loathe it. So I don't got nothing to tape on this. Just tape, it's easy tape. Tape plastic so it don't spray down in there where the window goes. Get busy on it. Put some tape over those holes and do my sanding and priming and take that out, put more tape, prime it, block it, take that out, put more tape, and paint it. That's all real fast and real simple to do, as opposed to, I mean, a body shop don't do all this because they got 20 guys around that don't even know how to paint a car. They just hire them for next to nothing. Their only job is to sand and tape stuff. And they're not going to get to paint anything until they learn how to tape like a pro. I can tape like a pro. I can do this just as fast, and I'm going to end up with something I'm much happier with. And it's really, I mean, I kind of had nowhere to go. I was left with no other choice with the amount of panel damage on it. Just didn't, especially the doors. The doors looked okay on a beat the shit Volkswagen. Ain't gonna look good on a freshly painted Volkswagen. So this is your work. This is your physical to make it all happen. The foundation of all the work you're going to do on top of it. And as you get, once everything's filler primed, it gets to be much more of a, there's a freaking dent, right? I mean, every time you turn around, you find a dent on these doors in a different place. And when I sand it all down and block it, they're going to pop up all over. And I'll probably filler primer and block it before I even do any body work to it, just to see how bad it is. So if it doesn't get sanded, it's lower than the rest of the panel. If it comes up, if the sand is down the middle, it's higher than the rest of the panel. And the lower you don't have to worry about, the higher you really got to worry about. So this will all be strip fresh. Tomorrow I'll have these doors busted out, completely 100% busted out. Look at all the chips and stuff in this door. It's just cars are beat up. And, all that's got to get sanded off there, and it's got to get primed real heavy on those edges. All this stuff all has to come off. It has to get done. Well, another thing, if you paint that like that, you don't see nothing now, and it doesn't look like a little scratch here and there. You paint that like that, and it'll come out hideous. Absolutely hideous. There'll be these little lines all the way down the edge of the door. They're on the same level with the rest of the edge. This one's got that little dent there, and it's got another one down here. There's a couple in the top. You can't see any of them right now because it's so dirty, but there's nothing left of this paint. Clear coat's turned into some kind of chemical compound with dirt and rain and road and stuff and everything that's gotten on over there in the last zillion years. So we're in good shape. Like really happy with it. Well, this will be, the doors will be done. Then that'll get busted out. And you'll start seeing then it'll all start making a lot more sense to you. Especially when you see it start to get primed and painted, it'll all make much more sense. Like there's dents in that thing, man. along here. It's hard to show on the camera, but you can see these from 10 to 20 feet away. If you get them at the right angle. Paint them, you're gonna see them for sure. Like, it would just be absolutely like you were trying to draw attention to them. Like you were actually making that a visual element of your paint job. Something to point to. Look, see here where I didn't fix this? So, I'm on this. It looks like going the wrong way to you is actually going very much the right way. I don't know adjustment on these doors. This hole's just a little bit bigger than the bolt. The only reason you adjust them at all is just to try and make the gaps a little better. You can't adjust them enough to make them hit anything. They don't have that much room to move. So, here we go. Oh yeah, while I'm at it, look at that. That's a dent that's out. An outward dent where the doors are actually put together. That fucking thing's been there since the car was built. Gonna be there, but it was some of the build quality of this particular vehicle. And here is yet another problem. Look at this back here. See that? That's the seal for the window. It's not in very good shape. So there's a dent. See that dent right there? I mean, this thing's got dents, like, and that's another weird warp in the body. I don't know how the fuck they get dents in the car like that. They do. I'll block it. That's almost definitely going to need to get knocked down. It's like it got, I mean, it got hit somewhere out here, and when it did, it manifested itself in a high spot right here in that crease, and it's definitely high. It's not maybe it's high, it's high. So that'll probably have to get dented down. I mean, not probably, it definitely have to be pounded down with the sharp end of a hammer. But so you have all this, and I have to get all that out of there before I paint it, because guess what? Paint ain't gonna stick to that. Now you have all this clear coat falling off. And since this clear coat's falling off, it means all this clear coat is shot too. So if you paint over this and over this clear coat, you know where it's going to fall off first. Plus this leaks. If you, I opened the hatch the other day and hear water in the bottom of it. So I took out a plug, rubber plug that's in there so the water can escape. But again, this has to be done to the same thing that's being done to the front windshield. All that has to be dug out of there, and I have to sand down into there and paint. Tape off at the window, which is really easy to tape off a window edge like that. You can just run tape over it and take a razor blade and run along it, and pow, you're done. Well, this has to get dug out of there, sanded down in there, painted down in there. I'm going to put window weld in it. Here, I haven't seen, there's a big groove in the body right here that goes way, way down in there. So, I mean, I don't want to fill these sides because that's where the water's supposed to drain, wherever it gets in at. There's a seal here on the top, and if water gets past that, it needs to go down that channel and not the bottom. I can definitely put window weld on here, which I will do. So again, we're going to sand down and get all this dead, flaking clear coat off of it, and then sand it, prime it, and filler prime it, and block it, and then paint it. And then when we're done, we'll put a window weld in. Nice neat black strip running across there. That'll be sharp as hell. And it'll be a detail that that will be visual, but you won't see it. You won't know why it looks so nice. Just like a build quality of the car. I gotta do one of these because that one here is pretty dry rotted and shot. So again, every time you go around and just look at it and you think, well, that's no big deal. That right there, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, not a big deal for me, but it would be a big deal if you just painted over it. I mean, it had to take a shot, like, I would say out here, pretty damn hard. And when it did, instead of bent in, like something large hit it, maybe somebody fat ass or something, I don't know, basketball pounded it or something, but when it did, it didn't dent in, it manifested itself in this crease right here. Maybe try to just fill that sanding. This is just going to be one big ball here. I could get away with it, probably never see it. But the way to fix it is to ding that down a little bit. Well, you look at it now, at this angle. And it's bad. I mean, it's really bad. You can't paint it. So, well, I determined all this. I haven't told you all that. I showed you all that I'm going to do because it's not for just one video. It's a lot for a lot of videos, I mean. A whole lot. Or just one video. You see, it's falling out of there. All got to come out of there. All got to be fixed. And up to this edge here. This is coming off here because this is where a lot of turbulence is, where the air comes over the back of the car and it hits this groove and it creates a lot of turbulence, and that just etches the clear coat and eats on it. And things hit it, like the air isn't clean. Pollen, dirt, pollution, ozone, everything you can think of comes across there at a very high speed and impacts this quite hard. If you don't fix it while you're painting it, it's just going to come right back. Good times. This is how I fool people into thinking they know what I'm doing. Oh, look at what you found. I mean, I don't even know if I can put them back together. I never said I could put them back. I said it'd be a lot better and it would come out much nicer if we take it all apart and paint it. So, this is to, of course, the owner of the car. If I can't get it back together, you're gonna have like a really pretty kit car. It's like box up all the doors and fenders and everything, all painted up really nice. Just box. No, I think I'll get it back together. So, the bodywork is actually just about done. I mean, I'll bust those doors out. That's a one-day deal. When I got them off the car and I can do them from this angle, that's a one-day deal for both of them. So, could I do them in 2 days on the car and make this come out like I want it to, where the seal goes along there? No, it'll never come out like I want it to. Now it will. And so will the door jamb. Everything else. It's all pieces of a puzzle. I know the game. Where's the helmet? On the other hand, watch it. Okay, so there it is. Volkswagen's all covered up. For those of you who called code enforcement on me, I hope you're happy. I was trying to keep it decent and nice looking out here. Now you can live with it looking even worse for the 2 weeks it takes me. They gave me 2 weeks to get it done, which I will have it done because I have nothing but excellent weather ahead. So tomorrow I'll have these doors done, busted up. This can just sit the way it is. Bust this out. Bust out the rear fenders and the hatch. And this thing's really, really going downhill after that. So it just looks like a lot. Taking things apart takes a while, but putting them back together takes half the time. Taking the first side apart takes a while. Taking the other side apart takes half the time, and putting them back together takes half the time of that. So there we go.